recently that you have been really excited about?
Well, Joy Williams wrote The Visiting Privilege. It's actually mostly a compendium of, it's a collection of most of her short stories, and there's about 7 or 8 new ones, I think, or maybe 11 new ones, but it's, I can return to Joy Williams over and over again. A story like The Shepherd is one of my favorite short stories. Claudia Rankine is Citizen is an amazing book. It's sort of this hybrid poem, polemic, prose, social criticism. It's memoir. It's beautiful and searing. The Ta-Nehisi Coates book, Between the World and Me. I'm reading that book, A Little Life, right now. It's a terrible book to bring on tour. It's 700 pages. Why would I travel with this? I know I should just have a Kindle or something. Yeah, I'll get one today. I'll get one tonight, tomorrow. Some reader thing. Anyway, it's very big. Those are probably the last couple. A Little Life is what I'm reading right now.
That's supposed to be pretty.
It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
I actually like dove into it, and then took a little break because it's really depressing. Maybe I need something kind of lighter. I don't know what. Just a joke book.
Let's see what we can do. We've got some books.
Yeah.
But actually, I'm glad you said that because I think, this book is pretty intense in places too. Like the last section where you're talking about animals mean a lot to you, and actually, you've been through so much, and there's so many really raw, kind of gripping parts in this book. But the part I found the most difficult to read was actually the story of what happened, when you were kind of at home with your animals and you had a really bad experience there. And I kind of felt like, wow, why is she, when you went into the section, I thought, why is she spending so much time on this? Like, obviously, animals mean a lot to Carrie, and it's cool to see about it. But then I sort of saw where you're going with it, and it was really powerful.
Yeah, when I so much of the book is about, sort of going from feeling disembodied to embodied, or invisibility to visibility, and family, and the way we create substitutions for it. And when I get to the part of the book where Slater-Kinney breaks up, and instead of saying or writing, I was sad, I basically use this story as a metaphor for one, just the way that I tried to assemble family, and all the things I thought were stable sort of become this locus of grief. And then also it just completely functions, I guess, figuratively as a way of explaining how distraught I felt about the band. So yeah, it kind of veers off, kind of when there's another part of the book that goes into second person, but I was kind of interested in terms of like style-wise of changing things up. So I'm glad you followed me there, because it veers off and then comes back.
No, it's really powerful. And I guess I'm wondering, putting those experiences down in this, translating them into this medium in that really hyper-thoughtful way. It sounds like you did a lot of work around getting yourself back to past, back to these places. What, I guess, this further on from writing the book, what, a couple of years have passed since you were intensely engaged in this writing. What has the kind of legacy been of that work? Do you feel, I guess, I don't want to say, like, has it healed you or anything horrible like that, but, what was, what has that experience done for you? Has it changed you, kind of translating it into something else in this really powerful way?
I think only in retrospect. I feel like in the writing of it, I was just focusing on how terrible it is to have to, like writing is really hard. Like no one talks about it being easy. There's just nothing magic about it. You're just sitting down and writing. And it's horrible, and sometimes you write for hours and you're like, oh, I have one good sentence or one good paragraph. This is very true. Like it's very painful in that way. But I think in retrospect, what I learned, I guess, was I think it does have to do with my relationship to vulnerability and how I think that is such a crucial element to all the work I do. And trying not to see that as a deficit or as something that makes it less than, but that, it can be, there's a grandeur to it. There's something that is can be like sparkling and vivid, and also powerful. And sort of feeling more powerful after coming out the other side of despair, I think, is also just helps me be a more compassionate person. But that all happened after. When I wrote it, I was just like, how do I make this paragraph better?
Yeah.
It wasn't, because it doesn't feel cathartic at all to write. People, that's what keeping a diary is for. You're just scribbling, and this is not that.
Do you keep diary?
Not very often. I keep notebooks with ideas, but then I usually formalize it really quickly.
Okay.
Do you?
I do.
Okay.
Yeah, but I update it as regularly as I'm able, and I certainly wouldn't want anyone to read it. It's just kind of like blurting out onto the page. I mean, this is you. I think you're